I love the FFA program, and I'm raising two pigs, Dixie and Dolly. Most people don't know this, but pigs are fairly clean and very smart animals. I'm showing them in April. I'll be focusing in math and science this year, and continuing with FFA. I want to say thank you for helping me pursue my dream.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Riley Nicholson. Best of luck in your studies. You're going to be a great veterinarian.
At this time, we're going to move to recognition.
President Cruz, Superintendent Booth, and members of the board. We have several special recognitions this evening. We'll begin with you, our school board.
So tonight I wanted to begin with my appreciation to this board. One of your gifts is a compass clock, and the compass is for appreciation of the direction that you're giving GISD to ensure that we have student achievement and that we are offering things to students that will ensure their future beyond Greenville ISD. And then the clock represents the countless hours that you spend supporting our students in our community to ensure that things are in place to make sure that dreams do come true, that we teach it and they become, our students become. So thank you for your vision, your intentional leadership, and the efforts that you make for Greenville ISD. We really do appreciate all you do. So with that in mind, you have been showered with other gifts. So let's start with Ms. Yost, is that correct, at LP Waters?
Hello, President Cruz, Superintendent Booth, and members of the board. Thank you so much for all that you do for our district. We really appreciate the time and the effort and the sacrifice that you give to our district. Not only, I know this isn't a paid position, and I appreciate that that's a volunteer position and that you are called to do this. You have to have a heart for kids and for teachers and educators, so thank you for all that you do. Ours is, are we announcing our gift? Okay, so a sweet treat. Our sweet treat is nothing bun cakes, because everybody loves these little bun cakes. So I hope you enjoy. My day off was spent getting these for you yesterday, so thank you for the day off. But anyway, thank you so much for all that you do. Truly appreciate it, and your support. Thank you.
Good evening, President Cruz, esteemed board, and Superintendent Booth. I have the distinct honor of representing Bowie Elementary's thanks to each one of you for Board Appreciation Month. You each bring unique experiences, expertise, and passions to this group. And with each of your efforts, Greenville ISD is moving forward together with student safety and success at the forefront. Endless gratitude to you all for your efforts and sacrifice advancing our district. With the help of our art teacher, Heather Clark, 8 of our 4th and 5th graders have artistically represented you. So if you haven't opened the bag, go ahead and show everybody. Aren't they marvelous? So excited. Please accept this gift and know that so many appreciate you. Ms. Booth, did you open yours? You have one. Yeah. And you can turn it around and see who your artist is. And just so you know, if we picked them, they got a Sonic drink, so it was worth it to them too. But thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening. I just want to say that I think each year in education it gets a little harder with new challenges and new things that come our way. So it is so important to have a board as yourself that support not only our students and our families, but support our teachers and support our staff members. That's very important, and you guys show that support in so many ways. And one of our favorite ways is when you guys make it to our campus to visit and be a part of our family. So we have a t-shirt that's Team Carver, and we also wanted to make sure that you know it's coming from a campus that's multicultural. So we included some Hispanic things in there for you to take for dinner. So our shirt is in back order, but it's on its way. So thank you guys for everything that you do. We appreciate you, and thank you for being a part of our family.
Good evening. On behalf of Lamar Elementary students and staff, I want to thank you for the countless and thankless hours that you spend being advocates for our children and our district. Our treat for you today is one of our parents, Marla Hudgens, makes cookies. So she made an amazing basket of cookies, one of which is a map of Greenville ISD, and it has the administration board marked with the spot. And so on the map, that is the administration board where you guys get to spend lots of time working on all kinds of things to better our district. There also is a group of cards from our students, and hopefully they've shown you some wonderful appreciation in that group. And once again, I just want to thank you for all of the time and effort that you put into making our district great. Good evening. My name is Wendy Adams, and I want to thank you from Travis how much that you do for our district, the time that you put in. We definitely appreciate all that you do for our district. You will find two items. One, the bag that has the striped paper. Our theme this year is that we are on a journey and an adventure. And so we have some neat little items that kind of attribute to that theme. And so we do hope that you enjoy them. You fill our backpacks with all the good stuff that we need on our journey, and so we truly appreciate that. We know that you advocate for us by listening to our students, our staff, and our community, so we gave you some earbuds. And then we also know that you advocate by always out in the community and in the schools talking with everybody about GISD. So in these wintry months, we gave you some chapstick. And then also our students put together these posters that are hanging in front of you. Our sixth grade group, that is their contribution to thanking you. So again, thank you for your time and effort. Appreciate you all very much.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Clay Ard, and I'm an assistant principal at Greenville Middle School. Mr. Carter had a family situation today, so he had to leave. But I wanted to come up here and represent our campus for you guys and let you know how much we appreciate everything that you guys do. Y'all deserve every bit of this that is going on this evening, because everything you do is for free and for our community. And we appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Hello, school board, and thanks for having us tonight, representing Greenville High School. First of all, what's going on with our elementary school art? I mean, that's amazing. These drawings are amazing. That's incredible. So we have a bunch of things for you. I don't want to try to go through them all, but I did want to point out the taco back there. That's from our Spanish club that they put that together. So real quick, if you don't mind, Ms. Booth's going to hold that up, and we're going to blindfold President Cruz, and you can take a couple swats at it. No? Okay. Okay. There is stuff in there, though, so make sure that you do open that up. But anyways, so thank you from Greenville High School. But on a personal note, having been now in the district for a year and a half, a lot of people ask me all the time, friends, family, just people in the profession, why Greenville? And I could tell you, I could name probably 15 things, but I know my first two things that I always say. The first one is the superintendent. I have a legit relationship with this superintendent, which isn't usual. So I appreciate you for that, you know, always being there and available for me. And then number two, the school board. And they're like, well, what's different about the school board? And I was like, they're always around, they're available, they're on our campuses, you see them at community events, they know who you are. And I think that's a unique trait, and I really personally appreciate that as a professional, and I know that my fellow principals do, and so does the staff of the district. So thank you guys very much for being so present for us. Thank you.
I am blessed to be here representing Greenville Early College High School, and Forward Together is the perfect theme for what you represent. You are propelling the Greenville Early College High School students forward by allowing them to earn an associate's degree. We brought you today gift baskets, and our students wanted you to have chocolate and have hot chocolate goodies because they said anybody that works this hard, you deserve to be warm and cozy. They also said that you warm their hearts, so they wanted to warm yours. Inside your gift baskets are also thank you notes written by our students, and I teared up when I read them because they are truly indicative of what you are doing for our students. Many of our students are going to be the first students in their families with college degrees. They are going to achieve things that they never dreamed possible because you are funding those dreams and because you believe in them. So to borrow the words of one of our sophomores who found the perfect quote to put in his thank you card, Aidan Lewis said, "Heroes are not giant statues formed against a red sky. They are people who say, this is my community and it is my responsibility to make it better." Thank you for being those people.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know, my name is Sherry Fair, and I'm the principal at the New Horizons High School in the Gap. This is my first position as a principal. This experience has created some great times and some difficult and uncertain times. However, our district is blessed, truly blessed, with leadership and management that has allowed us to blossom, to grow, and to sustain through our abilities. I am thankful, truly thankful, to be a part of GISD. Thank you.
Thank you.
So in addition to this right here, moving forward together, of course it's a theme, but you'll notice that it's a collage of student pictures, and in the top is the board's pictures. So this is just commemorative to remind us that we are truly moving forward together. So thank you again for all you do.
Thank you. Thank you all for the gifts. I think I could say that we appreciate the kindness that you guys show us, and we do this because we have a passion to lead in our community and help teachers and students, and so we're the blessed ones. So thank you for supporting us. Thank you for being here and all the gifts.
I don't hear you, I'm sorry.
So, Governor Abbott wrote a proclamation. We will not read all of it to you, but there are some words that really stick out, and I wanted to read out loud. To catch a glimpse of Texas tomorrow, we need only look into the classrooms of today. The boys and girls presently enrolled in our schools will, in due time, take the reins of the nation and determine the destiny of our people. In their prescience, our founders knew that the American democratic experiment could succeed only if our population remained virtuous and educated, and our schools promote the very enlightenment upon which our republic depends. Consequently, the task that befalls our school boards is one of utmost importance. At this time, I encourage all Texans to acknowledge and celebrate the thousands of school board trustees who voluntarily serve the next generation of leaders. That's from our governor, and just thought it was worth taking out that excerpt. You are appreciated.
Thank you.
Okay, on to the other recognitions. We have 2 Extra Mile Award winners this month, and 6th grade center counselor Kelly Wiggins and robotics teacher Jill Phillips would like to share a story about one of our honorees.
Hello, we just wanted to share that we were going on our first robotics competition, and the students had to be there at 6 a.m. in the morning. It was bright and early. We were all super excited and ready to go, and a transportation request fell through, and we had no bus driver. So we had about 30 kids excited and sad and didn't understand what was going on. And last minute, we had somebody pick it up with a smile on his face and was so happy and was the best bus driver we've ever had for Greenville and took us to our competition on the way home. Well, while we were there, usually bus drivers like to go sit in the car and hang out, do their own thing, which is totally fine. But he jumped right in, watched the whole competition, was helping the kids, supporting them, cheering them on. And then on the way home, I don't even remember the day, but we had the crazy tornado weather. And he was watching the weather. He kept us safe. We actually had to pull over twice. And he made sure that all the kids were safe, and we really, really appreciate him. And so we just wanted to say thank you. Do you want me to call him up? Or?
Yeah, call him up.
I do.
Yes, go ahead. Say who it is.
You do want to just say the name.
And the winner is.
Come on up. We really appreciate everything you did for us that
day. There's all kinds of people here. You've got kids that are leave from our transportation offices here. Your family's here, so y'all get up there. Let's get everybody.
Here, they want to take a picture.
So you get a yard sign to put in your yard saying that you went the extra mile, and a t-shirt that says, "My superintendent thinks I'm awesome."
2, 1. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
That is for you to keep forever.
Oh.
Put that in your yard.
And it faces both ways. Everyone's going to know.
I will say that Rich is my kiddo's bus driver, and when he is not on the bus and there's a sub, they let me know. And they're like, we had a sub today and they were not our favorite.
Can I interject? When he said he was going to get an award, he had no idea what it was for. I said, probably most spirited bus driver, because how many let the kids tell you that they want you to dress up like a Grinch or
Yes.
Yes. These things that he does. And so I figured it was something about, being the best.
Well, he connects with the kids, and we have great bus drivers, but you connect with the kids, and it's very appreciated. And this award is definitely going to someone very worthy.
So I just have to add when you said the Grinch. So I said, "Where's your Santa hat today?" And he said, "Well, I have a Grinch." I said, "Well, you should wear it." And so he saw the pictures and the communication that went out, because that was Rich. So now you know their true identity.
And that is one of the fun thing about the Extra Mile Award winners is they're kind of caught doing something wonderful in the moment, and also they don't know why they're coming to the board meeting, we hope. So, and we do have another couple of Extra Mile Award winners, and Dr. Anderson will share the story about what makes them our honorees.
Good evening. The Operations Department is one of the departments that has a lot of unsung heroes in it, but tonight we want to sing about two of them, if you will. During the holidays, when a lot of other people went about their business and on their trips and were not to be seen anywhere near the school, we had two of our employees who were there, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after Christmas, making sure that our facilities were as they should be. And in doing so, with the cold weather that we had some pipes that froze in places that they've never frozen before, in strange situations, as that tends to happen, because one of our employees, Dennis Russell, who is our maintenance and grounds manager was around. He found the leaks. He spotted them early. He was able to contact Vic Lawson. Vic is our evening custodial supervisor. Vic came on his time off to take the extractor to extract the water to make sure it was clean, with Dennis making sure everything was turned off. And I will say we called in a restoration company because we like to be extra cautious anytime water is involved. And they were highly complimentary of how fast our guys got on it because they said that there was hardly anything for them to do in that situation because the guys got to it so fast. And so they had multiple folks from that company that praised our employees and the job that they did. And so we want to give these two guys the recognition for the Extra Mile Award for going above and beyond, and even on the holidays, thinking about GISD and taking care of our buildings and our students. You guys want to come on up? All right. Dennis Russell. Dennis.
You're actually next. You're actually next.
So Dennis, this is for you.
Ready?
You also have a T-shirt. And what is it saying on the back of the T-shirt?
My superintendent thinks I'm awesome.
And our last two recognitions go to impactful partners who've made a huge difference for us in Greenville ISD. First, Altrusa Greenville. I have the honor of being a member of the group of this really special club of ladies who really devote countless hours to literacy and other causes. In fact, this year, one of the projects is to put a book vending machine in every single elementary campus in Greenville. And I will tell you, these ladies go about their work usually very quietly, and you have to take the story and really draw it out of them to see everything that they're doing. So for all the things that Altrusa Greenville does, large and small, to make a difference in early literacy and just in the lives of our kids through Hunt County Kids, it is our honor to name Altrusa Greenville as impactful partner for January of this year. Come on up, ladies. And our last recognition will be introduced by Dr. Anderson again for another impactful partner.
We appreciate those businesses that support GISD, but we especially appreciate those partnerships where GISD feels like a priority in the community. And we have a business owner who has been to our rescue I don't know how many times, and we're so glad that he has been, not just during this freeze that we had take place, but many times before that, and I'm sure many times after. Jimmy Huckabee with Charter Plumbing has come to our rescue. He makes sure that he prioritizes the district. He's there if he has to drop things to get to us, to stay after, to come on weekends, to work around our schedule, and for being there to make sure that our water and our sewer keeps going. We want to recognize you as an impactful partner. Come on up.
So I was just going to say that when the pipe bust at the high school, when Greg and I were talking about it, it could impacted the broilers that are there. So we were a little concerned about any delay at all. So we called and they were out that day. They found the leak. The next day I called and said, "Hi, I know you're family owned. Can I speak to the owner?" The owner is at Greenville High School doing the job for us. So that's what kind of people they are, and we really, really appreciate their commitment to GISD. So I just wanted to say that.
And next is our January Hero of Hope.
This is an incredible honor. I never expected. What a blessing to be recognized for the hard work that I do. I don't do it for the recognition. I do it for the love of these kids in my room.
Having someone like Ms. Fire on campus really sets my mind at ease as a principal. She runs the show in the mornings and in the afternoons. She gets our students off the buses in the morning, and then in the afternoon she does kindergarten duty and ensures all of our kindergartners are loaded in their cars and ready to go home. During the day, she is an intervention teacher. She is ensuring those students are getting exactly what they need on a daily basis.
She's a great mentor. I just love her. I've taught with her for many, many years. She knows her stuff, as they say, and she's very willing to share her knowledge with whoever needs it or whoever asks. If you don't know Lori and you need an uplifting person, she is always there to help you. She opens her heart up to anyone in need, children, parents, teachers, just anyone. She's just fantastic.
We depend on her and appreciate her definitely more than she could ever realize.
This is what I've always wanted to do. Since I was in elementary school, I wanted to be a teacher, and I appreciate the honor.
Lori, come on up. I love that cape. And please, anyone who's here with our Hero of Hope, come on up. Lone Star Credit Union always gives the Hero of Hope $100 out of thanks, and Amy Isaac is here from the credit union.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much.
Okay, at this time, we're moving on to open forum and public comment. I would like to ask the will of the board if it would be okay to go ahead and do both for agenda items and non-agenda items, to move that up. Is that okay? Okay. All right. We have arrived at the portion of our meeting where we will hear from people who desire to make comments to the board on agenda and non-agenda related items. Please note, speakers will be limited to 3 minutes on one agenda related item. If commenting on more than one agenda item, comments are limited to 5 minutes total. Please address the board as a whole and not as an individual board member. Any and all complaints or concerns regarding the management of the district will be referred to the superintendent. Also, during this portion of the meeting, the members of the board will remain silent and not respond to any comments or concerns. In order to address the board, you should have completed a gold card or a blue card located in the back of the room prior to the meeting being called to order. Your name, address, and topic of discussion must be indicated as well. I do have 4 cards, 3 gold and 1 blue. So we're going to start with the gold cards, and the first person that I would like to call up is George Cronky.
Good evening, school board. As most of you know, I don't have a problem speaking. I don't really, groups get me, so I'm going to go through. I want to address real quick some of the concerns.
You need to say your name and address.
My name is George Cronky. Address is 6402 Buena Vista, Greenville, Texas, 75401. I'm going to take a few minutes and talk about the proposed calendar. These are my thoughts and some of the thoughts of the teachers that I work with, and so I'm going to go through. Some of the things that we had talked about is in reducing the school week, and it's a 4-day student week, 5-day employee week. By having the students in 4 days and having an extra day off, we would hope that parents would be able to try and schedule appointments for those said students on those days so that they are not taking time out of the classroom and the students are present more. Another benefit of this would be the planning time for the teachers to work on getting ready for the upcoming week. There are other benefits as far as your school activities. I'm involved in one program that's very lengthy after school. We do a lot of weekend work. Some of these days, we would like to be able to use an afternoon of that to bring our students in, have them come and work with us, and that may free up part of our weekend for them as well as us. And it frees it up for the student to continue to try and catch up with some of their work. Some of the other benefits we have talked about is that if teachers are able to have that extra day for planning, but they need to go and see a doctor or see a dentist, it's more cost efficient on the district for said employee to use half a day of vacation on one of those days where we have no impact on the sub. Right now, our subs are very expensive, nor can we find that many of them. We also wanted to rest assured that, you know, it's minutes versus time versus the days. So by increasing whatever the amount of time it would need to be, whether it's in that 20 to 30 minute mark, especially at the high school, it would help having a 50-minute class versus a 45-minute class. You have that student a little bit longer and a little bit more of their attention. Financially speaking, reduction in subs for staff taking off, but it's also a reduction in not running 20 to 30 buses 1 day a week. As we all know, fuel is expensive. So those were just kind of some of our thoughts and why we think it's beneficial. One of the main things that I haven't talked about is teacher retention. We have to be able to stay competitive and keep staff. We lost staff at Christmas or Thanksgiving break this year and at Christmas. And I looked before I got here, and I believe the district is short 22 or 23 certified teachers as we speak. So, thank you.
Thank you. The next person I'd like to call up is Mr. Joel Pitts.
Board, my name is Joel Pitts. I'm in
934 County Road 4122, Campbell, Texas, and I'm a teacher at Greenville High School. I just wanted to speak on the calendar, and I felt like it was important to come here and speak from the perspective of a teacher and what kind of changes that this would be. I know that there's a lot of different sides on it and different people and perspectives, but looking at, and we as teachers look at this all the time. You do it, you look at other districts, what are they paying, what does their schedule look like, and just the number of districts that have already gone to a full 4-day week. This wouldn't be that, but this would allow for planning. So we've lost some teachers by high school to Farmersville. Farmersville does pay more than that, a full 4-day week. You've got Bowles, Quinlan, Lono, Rains just announced it. Alba Golden is right down the road from Rains. They just announced it as well. I just feel like as a teacher that's been in the district going on 17 years, I love teaching at Greenville High School. I want to see quality teachers at Greenville High School. And we've just really had an issue in the last, well, through the pandemic, trying to get teachers to come and be at Greenville High School. If we can get them here, I believe they're going to stay here. And if this is a tool that will allow us to recruit teachers and so that they can get in the doors at our school and see what this school really is, because we all know that there's things out there that people say about this district that's not true. And once you're here, you understand that that's just a bunch of hogwash. And so I'm very passionate about Greenville ISD. I love this school, I love teaching here. My goal is to retire from here, and I'm not going anywhere. But I believe that this would be a huge goal as far as recruiting teachers and also teacher retention. I know in other districts, my mother's is on the board at Bowles, and they made this decision a couple of years ago, and they said they're not ever going back because what it's done is it's boosted the morale of the teachers. They have had high retention there, and it's boosted the morale of the students as well. And so, thank you very much.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call on Mr. James Evans.
This is hallowed ground up here. James Evans, 6410 Buena Vista Drive, Greenville, Texas. I meant that sincerely. I'm appreciative of you giving me a chance to speak tonight. I feel very strongly that we need to retain the 5-day-a-week calendar. We've got so many homes that do not have the structure. I had 2 people come to me last week, visited with me, that I had in school years ago, and they were talking about their kids today. The schools were the safe place, and many of these kids today, there's even fewer that have got a safe place when they're not in school. We can do the lunches to give to them. They can drive through, but it's not like being up here at school, a place they feel safe. You're talking to a person that's been at schools in the morning when it's snowing outside and freezing, and you see little kids. We always went there. That was the requirement as a principal. You went to this campus. You see a little kid come walking through the snow and the freezing rain to come to school that morning. Why? Because there was nothing at home safe. They came to school. This is what it's about, folks. We're up here for this. Look at the test scores right now. We've lost a lot during the pandemic. It's not our fault. That's where we are. We need hands-on with these kids. 5 days a week. If we could do it 7 days a week, I'd do it 7. I wouldn't do it on Sunday, but I'd do it the other days. We've got to have time on task with them. As far as teacher retention, years ago, not that many years ago, you came to Greenville after you'd worked somewhere else in the county. Myself, I started at a county school. Wesley Martin, I went in and begged him for a job and I graduated. He said, James, go out and start, prove yourself, and then I'll hire you. I went out for 2 years in the county. Mr. Martin kept his word. 2 years later, I came back, I proved myself, he got me. Right now, for the last bunch of years, our people come in, they start in Greenville, then if they're good enough, they go out in the county. We've got to reverse that. Folks, in my opinion, I say my opinion, one of our key problems here is discipline. I came and shook everybody's hand a month ago when you refused, and I'm gratefully glad you did. You refused to put corporal punishment back in. I stopped doing corporal punishment to get discipline back ages, decades before the school put it out. In fact, I got written up a time or two, probably if you go check my folder, because I refused to. There were other ways to do it, better ways. That's a parent's job. I'm not against it for parents, not for the school district. You can get discipline if you do it the right way. There was a board member years ago the district moved me to a school where over half the faculty had resigned that spring, veteran people. Superintendent wouldn't give me an answer why they were moving me. I did my usual thing. I called up the school board president, went and saw him. They told me, we want you to go in there, and I've used this with all my faculties, go in there, bake a cake, get the cake perfect before you put icing on it. That's what we need to do. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you. Take care.
Thank you. Okay, we have one more card for non-agenda items, and it will be Mr. Kenneth Freeman.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Kenneth D. Freeman. I stay at 1504 Speedway Street, Greenville, Texas. And I've been living in Greenville most of my life. And our schools, I really feel bad about that we didn't get the bond issue passed. But because of non-trust issues, that's probably why we didn't get it passed. But the thing about that is, the people didn't pass the bond, they're not hurting the school, they're hurting our kids. We need new schools. We are in schools that have been here for 50 or 60 years that need to be bulldozed down. Amen. And another thing is this, that we got great employees at this school, at this district. Like the guy that try to take care of the kids, the bus driver. And a lot of times, we don't appreciate a lot of the people that are not teachers, but bus drivers and maintenance people, sometimes we overlook. And they need the money and appreciation to what they do every day. And the thing with that is, you're not going to keep good employees if you don't want to pay them. It's just that simple. And I'm a bus driver here in Greenville. I've been a bus driver here ever since 2008, and I love bus driving. I love the kids, but some of my kids have got out of, they are really bad on our buses. And I appreciate my brother that came and ride the bus, and he found out for himself that what we were saying wasn't wrong. We have a lot of kids that is disobedient, they wouldn't listen. And when you're a bus driver, you have to pay attention to the street of riding the bus. My main job is to get the kids from school to home and then back. That's my job. And I want to make sure that I do it in a safe way. And we have monitors on the bus, but we don't have enough of them. And they need to get paid. And not just part-time, they need to be full-time monitors. We need monitors on every bus. And that frees up the bus driver to do his job without injuring any kids or anything like that. We need that. Another thing is this, we didn't have no water for 2 weeks at the bus barn. And you got 25 people trying to go to one bathroom. And I know it's tight, I know we have problems at the school and other things like that. But that should have got fixed. We shouldn't have to wait 2 weeks to get out running water to go to the bathroom. When you're on the bus and you get on that bus, first thing you got to do is go to the bathroom. And the second thing you got to do is come back off that bus, you got to go to the bathroom. And you ain't got but one bathroom for over 30 people, that's hard to do, man. That's hard to do. And I know y'all can't do everything, but I would hope and pray that y'all be a little bit more transparent and help our bus drivers and help the maintenance people to do what they can do. I know y'all shortage for maintenance people, I know that.
Mr. Freeman, your time is up. Your time is up, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yep.
Okay. At this time, we're going to move to comments from individual board members. Would anybody like to make a comment?
I just want to say thank you and congratulations to those that were announced tonight and awarded, and then just wow, all of these wonderful gifts and the art, and I look forward to reading all of the cards individually. So thank you, everyone.
in addition to
Your
mic. Well, I can't turn anything on. I can't turn it on, I'll just.
We can.
Wonderful, see? You are such a. There you go. That's double your salary. I'd like to say, in addition to what Bonnie Jean had to say, that it was very rare for us to be able to say thank you to, of course, a lot of them have already left, but to say thank you to all of the people who brought these gifts up, who took time to have their students working with it, and who took the time to come up and tell us what's in there. You know, tell us what's in there. Say something to us. We need to tell you thank you too for doing that. We appreciate that very much.
I agree with Ann, and I want to add something to that. The culinary students fed us tonight, and if you haven't had the opportunity yet to go to their cafe, do. They are good. You know, there's a show on television called America's Got Talent. Well, folks, Greenville ISD has lots of talent.
Right.
I'll just like to reiterate again that we're super thankful to be here, to serve on this board, and I appreciate everyone that is on the board, that, you know, all of you guys. So at this time, we're going to move to reports and discussion items, starting with the superintendent's report.
Okay. So Superintendent Cruz, the members of the superintendent.
You want to be that job? You can have it. Okay, so President Cruz, members of the board, sorry about that. I went to visit high school last Thursday, I think, and I went into Cronky's shop, and there I saw this long trailer with a box on the end of it, and I said, you know, tell me about this. So in collaboration between the Robo Wranglers and the shop of Cronky's, all of their students, the rules have changed for Robo Wranglers trailer. We can no longer have two, we can only have one. So our creative kids came together, extended the trailer, and put a shell over the end where we can carry our tools and things. So we're in specs for Robo Wranglers, and our kids made this. So I was really excited to share that with you. You saw we had 12 New Horizons graduates, and you are going to see several again tomorrow, right? So I know I'm going to steal your thunder, Ms. Fair, but excited about that. These students were successful on their end of course test in December, and we are really, really, really proud of them because that was the last piece on their graduation journey. This Thursday, we had a ton of applications requesting to learn more about Greenville ISD. And so because we initiated a program called Greenville ISD Leadership, and so we have selected the first group, and we look forward to being able to accept other applications in the next round. But this is a start, and so we just appreciative of our partners in Greenville, Texas that want to learn more about Greenville ISD. So we'll be reporting more on that throughout because it's once a month, and the first one's Thursday. And then we continue to recognize our alumni. We continue to recognize, well, there's a couple of people so far. I mean, for this month, this month, there's Millie Edwards. And then the families, celebrating families, legacy of our parents and our kids and their parents and sometimes their parents. So we're excited about that, to continue that story. And there's the Marshall Clark family, 4 generations. And then Mr. Rackley mentioned it. Last Thursday we had our grand opening for the public to the Culinary Arts Lions Lair Cafe.
And we had 33 people come, or 33 families come to eat. It was very successful, and we took surveys at the end, and they are definitely coming back, and they're going to tell their friends. So we're excited about that. We have a financial adulting 101 class that we have offered, and I will tell you that we have 18 people signed up and a potential of 37 because they want to bring friends. So we're excited about that offering. I mean, it's basic, just Finance 101, just making sure that we are taking care of business in these hard times. So that was fun, a good turnout that we're expecting. We'll let you know more about that once it happens. And then our G Spelling Bee is coming up. Registration's open, and it is February 24th. So I see that one of our winners back there in the audience, so we'll see if the competition's on, right? And I just wanted to report a little bit on safety and security. You know, last month we talked about e-hall pass, 6th grade through 12th grade. That way a student has to QR code out of the class, so say where they're going, and it's really been able to help us manage the in and out of the classroom, and it really has made a huge difference in the halls to make sure students are in the classroom more. And in addition to that, just as an FYI, we have drug dog visits from 6th grade to 12th grade twice a week. It's a contract we have through Hunt County. Most recently, we came through last Friday through our athletic facilities, and we had 0 hits. So I see Coach Defect there, so that's good news. And also, we have random drug testing. Parents do have to opt into drug testing at registration, and we've had 3 drug testing done so far, and less than 15 kids do have a hit on marijuana. So those kids' parents are notified, and there's a whole process on making sure that those students get the help they need and make sure that we're following up on that. I was going to just say the last icon is the first of the year we sent out notes to parents about partnering well, about discipline on the buses and in the campuses, and we're really, really excited to say, there are still some principals here, the parents have really partnered well, and that we really are seeing a difference, and we really appreciate that in our parents. And then at Christmas time, we had 100 children over the holidays that we collected gifts for, so we're proud about that. That we may not have had a Christmas without those donations. And then coming up in February, just the 6th through the 10th is National School Counselor, and then mark it on your calendar, February 22nd is School Bus Driver Appreciation Day, so might be a good day for all of us to rally around, February 22nd. That's it. Oh, yes. I have a video of things that are going great in the auto paint booth at the high school. Thank you.
This is our paint booth where we paint vehicles that we repair or complete paint jobs. We also paint a lot of stuff for the ag mechanics when they build these projects and take them, to their shows. We painted the solar car in here. It's important for students to have access to this. For instance, they can go get a job at any collision center. I have several that are working at L3 right now in aircraft painting. I have several that are attending school at UTI and Lincoln Tech. This is close to professional level of equipment that we have here.
And so Mr. Livingston and I went by the shop today, and he said that he has the kids sanding with their hands, not with the machine. And so just to make sure that they really understand that that's part of making sure everything is smooth. And so we're really excited to see that's in operation.
Thank you for that. Now we'll be moving to maintenance and operations. First being update board policy 120.
President Cruz, Superintendent Booth, board members, good evening. This is update 120, the first and final reading. It covers 3 separate local policies, but I've also highlighted 2 of the legal policies that are out just so that you will have a better understanding of how that impacts the school district. CKC local, FNG local, and FO local. CKC local is safety, program risk management, and emergency plans. So the revision to the emergency operations plans now require that we have a response to a nearby train derailment as applicable. GISD already had this in its plan, but they are now requiring all districts to make sure that if they have facilities near a railroad track, that they have that. GISD has that in its plan, so we're okay there, but it is a new requirement. FNG local is student rights and responsibilities, student and parent complaints and grievances. And so in this policy, under the section called other complaint processes, TASB has added number 14. Complaints concerning disputes regarding a student's eligibility for free or reduced price meal program shall be submitted in accordance with COB. So if there is someone who believes that they were unfairly denied the ability to get a free or reduced lunch, then they have an option for bringing a grievance through the process using policy COB to be able to process that. And then policy FO, which is student discipline. Under the section physical restraint, there was a note that was in there. And in that note, they have moved wording from somewhere else in the policy and moved it to that note section. So the policy hasn't changed other than the position of the note that a district employee may restrain a student with a disability who receives special education services only in accordance with the law. So they've kind of highlighted it where it appears in the text. So those are the changes for the, one more. For FO local is they've taken out number 4, which is that you can use physical restraint to control an irrational student. All right, so there are other ways to go about restraining students if they meet a certain requirement. Under irrational student, they're asking districts to use other measures than physical restraint. So that's it for the local. There are 2 of the legal that I wanted to highlight. The first one is BBD. BBD falls under board members training and orientation. And basically it is a policy that adds sections covering minimum standards, computer-based video conferencing applications, system requirements, and recording. So it's a change to the video conferencing that takes place during school board meetings. It doesn't necessarily apply to what you do so much as it applies to what Mr. Folk does in making sure that we're in compliance with the Open Meetings Act whenever we use our video conferencing. But it is something for you to be aware that they are continually updating that section because more and more districts are using video conferencing, at least with some board members during their board meetings. And then BE Legal on board meetings updates the policy to add a new administrative code regarding meetings by video conference. That was technology that was put in there. CQA Legal is technology resources, district campus, classroom websites. There are 2 items that the state is now requiring that we post on our website that were not requirements previously, or at least not in policy previously. And that is, if we have a campus or district that has a rating of a D, we must notify the public of the meeting to gather input to develop that local improvement plan. It has to be put on there, I believe it's 15 days prior to that meeting on your district website, as well as other means of communication to the public. The second notification on the website is a requirement that districts that are conducting some sort of an active threat, like an active shooter exercise, we have to make sure that the public is aware that we're doing that through multiple distribution networks, which includes the district website. And that comes from the fact that they've had some districts where they did not provide notification to the public, and then they had issues with the community afterwards or with police departments afterwards, et cetera. So we are required to make sure that we give notification through multiple networks, including the district website. Any questions about any of those changes?
I have a question.
Yes.
So the requirement that if we have a D rating, does that mean that, let's say our campus improvement plans, when they're being put together, like if a principal does it, then it would go out to the public for
They would at least have to put out notice that they're having the meeting to get input, so they can do it before they have their review plan on the campus or at the district level. They just have to put it on the website at least 15 days before that meeting.
Just a website?
Yes. You can do other means as well. And that's a requirement to do it that way. Most of the time, we try to give an idea of when those meetings are coming up through either campus newsletters, other ways, but this one requires you actually put it on the website.
How will you let people know about an exercise, an active threat exercise? Will you let parents know?
Oh, absolutely we will, yes.
Because that, I mean,
Yeah.
my kids have come home and been like, oh, we had an active shooter
Yeah,
exercise today, and I'm like, oh, really? Okay.
We haven't had that yet, I will tell you that, actually an active shooter. The only thing we have had in partnership with Greenville PD, as well as Hunt County PD, was at King Street, the end of before Christmas break. And the kids that are currently there were moved to New Horizons High School. So that's the only place we've done active shooter. Now, we do lockdown practice.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, so that one we normally don't advertise. We don't advertise because we need it to be as real as possible. And that's happened already. Okay. And so that we've met that requirement. So
okay.
But there are districts that do
very different.
Much more active shooter training, if you will, where they bring in the police department, et cetera, they bang on doors. And we've had districts that have not given notice to the public. That did not play out well.
And
this is why the
state's
state's saying you need to make sure people know if you're going to do that.
Okay.
Does that mean that the principal and teachers know ahead of time as well that this is going to happen?
For which one?
For the active shooter?
They will know, yes, ma'am.
They will know ahead of time?
Any other questions?
Any more questions?
How many campuses do we have that are close to a railroad track right now?
Oh, let me think. Well, you're going to have LP Waters.
Middle school isn't
Middle
close
school.
enough. Middle school's not close enough. It's the mile and, was it?
It's going to be, I think it's 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
LP is probably the only one that I can think of that's within the 1,000 feet.
So, I mean, that kind of came up when we were
That's
talking
when
about
we did the bond thing, I brought that up right there, because
Yes,
that's the
sir.
only one
That's
that's
the only
closed.
one. But it wasn't as close as 1,000 feet, is what we proved, right? But we do have a plan if they're in the event of a derailment. It is.
Because
in the
Greenville's had a
emergency plan.
derailment in, what, the last 5 years, one by Graham Park.
And that is in our plan.
And typically you do that in case there is a derailment and it happens to be hazardous chemicals, et cetera, a way to get the kids out of the area.
Any other questions? Can I get a motion to approve?
I make a motion that the board accept the addition, revision, and deletion of local policies as recommended by administration, TASB Policy Service, and according to the instruction sheet for TASB Localized Policy Manual Update 120.
I'll second.
With a motion by Tish and a second by Roger, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move on to finance, board goal 4, finance quarterly budget.
President Cruz, members of the board, I will be presenting this for you with you tonight. You will see on we have gone through 50% of our budget, and so you'll notice that in the far right corner, the percentage of budget spent. I would like to point out 3 different ones that are over the 50%. That the Function Code 61, we are over there because we paid the Head Start. There are 2 employees from LP Waters that were paid out of Head Start funds that were not associated with Head Start. So we had to move those, we had to take those funds out of Function Code 61. So that's the variance there. And we will be, based on our Head Start audit, we will be, you will be expecting an amendment in the coming board meeting to adjust for that variance of those teachers. So you're seeing it now there. And then on function 31, we paid the full amount for communities in school. And so that was a little bit of a front load of payout. And then on function 81, you know that you approved the $4,400 for the design of the middle school in LP Waters. Yes, ma'am. What did I say? $4.4 million, thank you. And I know that was a bargain, wasn't it? Yeah, so we are expecting one more invoice from them, and so we will have a remainder in that year-to-date balance. So we are not expending the $4,400,000. But again, it's at 89% because that's the only thing that was in that line item, and that's what that one is. The next page is, I just wanted to reference that we budgeted for 4,765 students. We're currently at 5,400 students, and if you will look at the next page, just to reference, you see the highlighted after 6 weeks, because we report attendance on 6 weeks. We have an average daily attendance of 4,832.98 students, so I guess we can round that up to 4,833 students, which you see is about 90 kids over what we budgeted. So as long as we can continue ADA numbers as they are, we should be able to maintain, we'll have some additional ADA funds if we can keep the attendance up. And, so I just wanted to point that out. Let's see. Then the ESSER funds you asked about earlier, we had a remaining balance of $2,082,160. You know that this year's salary, we have teachers and others, we have 44 teachers, support staff that are being paid out of ESSER funds. So the $2 million, and then we have one more payout that you authorized for spring break of $500 to our employees. So the $2 million is really allocated so far based on those two things that I just told you about. But TEA has left a reserve for some ESSER funds, and they will allocate those to districts by the end of this month or next. So I'm hopeful by a February budget, you'll know the additional fraction of ESSER 3 funds that we're going to get a little bit of. These do expire September 2023 so far, unless they extend it. So these will be funds we need to use in this budget year.
Ms. Biggs, I have a question. Looking at that, under HVAC, you have 2022, 2023 incentive pay, September, November, and March. But then if you come down, you also see November incentive pay. Is that included twice?
No,
because
tell me again what you're, because we did August.
If you look under HVAC, you
Okay.
see 2022, 2023 incentive pay, and it says September, November, March. So November is included in with that line item, but it's also listed separately in the highlighted area. So is it figured in twice?
I'm not sure. I should have point to me, just to give me the number. I see HVAC.
So right here it
Okay.
says November,
Okay, I got you.
and then down here says November. So is it included in both times?
Yes, it is. So let me get that fixed, okay? You're exactly right. Thank you. So it's included in 1.8, 2022, 23, and then it was included in the 903. So yes, I will get that fixed. I'll get you a new amount, okay? Thank you.
In August. So I think.
I said August and November, you're right, and then the March payout is projected. I'm with you. Thank you very much. I will get that fixed. Anything else?
Could we add something to our quarterly reports? Just a sentence
Yes, ma'am.
that says, all accounts were reconciled with the bank on whatever day that was by whoever is doing it, and then have it initialed. I mean, I don't care where it's at the front or the back, or just somewhere where we know that.
Yes, ma'am.
And will this be presented like this at every meeting?
This is quarterly.
I mean, quarterly?
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
Okay, good.
We're going to move on to governance and specified donations. And we have one to look at, and there's two, but we're going to look at just one. Did you put something in my folder about that?
No, you're just being back on that.
Okay. I'd like to have Mr. Juan Martinez come up.
Hello.
Hi. So, Mr. Martinez, you're the representative for the donation we received for the baseball?
The baseball program, baseball and softball, yes ma'am.
So several different people contributed to that, and they gave it to us and we deposited it.
Yeah, would you speak to that, kind of what your project was and
Yes,
who
ma'am.
was involved?
The baseball program and softball, they both needed a covered area for their batting practice, for their batting cages, and I gathered a couple of people that were willing to donate so we can provide covering for both programs. And so that's what I'm here for, so we can try to get that going and get it finished in time for baseball and softball season.
Awesome, and that was $20,000?
Yes, ma'am.
And just for the knowledge of all, because some of us know it already, but we had a concrete slab with steel beams and netting.
Yeah.
And that's where our softball and baseball had batting cages. So we had a group of community members, as yourself and some others, that said if we donate, could we make this happen to have a little better weather conditions, right? So we checked to make sure that this did not fall under any building restrictions, because there's no water, there's no addition of any kind of electricity or anything to the district. A donation was appropriate for this, and we really appreciate you doing that. But we also know board policy says that if you have a designated donation, and I will tell you this is going to say lady lines and line lines, right? That the board has to approve for a designated donation. So that's why Mr. Martinez is here tonight, so thank you.
So what we are doing is we are accepting the donation for that purpose with a vote, and then they will be able to receive that money to pay for it.
And to construct it. Yes.
And to construct it. So I would like to say thank you for being a partner with us and coming together to raise that money, because it does benefit the kids and it's very appreciative. And I know you're a representative of several different people, so if you would extend our thanks to everyone for partnering with us.
Sure will.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to get a motion to approve.
I move to approve. Where is this, where is it gonna be built?
It's
It's an existing area already next to the baseball field. We're just covering it up because it didn't have any kind of cover or anything. So.
It's going to be three-sided, Ms. Haynes, it's going to be three-sided and a top, and a roof.
Yes.
And that way it'll be weather conducive to all weather.
Yes.
But again, it's already there, it just had netting. This is putting up steel siding?
Steel siding and then the roof. Yes.
Okay. Coach Duke, since you're here, is there anything you want to add? You good?
No, it's great too.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Sorry. Okay.
I move to approve the acceptance of the donation by Juan Martinez for Lions softball, baseball batting cage in the amount of $20,000.
Second. With a motion by Bonnie and a second by Trina, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can we take your picture, and is there anyone else here that you would like to? Yeah, there's a picture too. Thank you.
We usually just do it during recognition.
Yeah, we'll do this. Mr. Driggers, you want to join us? Mr. Driggers, you want to join us? Anyone else here that helped us out here?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I have the fanciest camera, but it's gonna work. All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Thank you.
Okay, here we go.
Oh.
Great. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your patience.
There's a board.
Probably next month, though.
We can talk about it on the reading party. Can you go ahead and say?
Yes. So we did have 2 on there, but we were going to table that for now for other reasons. But we are going to continue to keep that on our agenda going forward because we have a lot of people that would like to partner with us. And I do think we will be revisiting donations again over the next several months. So that will continue to stay on our agenda over the next several months, if not forever. But we would like to say thank you again to our community for always supporting us. At this time, we're going to move to the discussion of the 2023-2024 academic calendar proposal.
Keith and Wes.
Keith and Wes will be presenting.
Okay, for the moment we've all been waiting on. Board President, Ms. Booth, school board members, thank you for letting us present this information to you about the survey that we sent out last month. And any questions that are hard to answer, Wes gets those. All those simple ones, I'll take those. All right.
It's good of you to share. Yeah, whatever.
All right, the distribution right there, the ones we delivered, see where 80% were delivered. Over to the right, there are some of the reasons why it wasn't 100%. Email addresses were different, it was blocked. Some of those things right there that affect us when we're trying to communicate is right there. So 80% of the families did receive the email with the survey. So the family survey has calendar A. There you see it's 28%, C's 48%, and D's 23%. So calendar C wins that survey. Staff survey is the close between C and D, at 45 and 44% respectively. Calendar A, the option there, that's had the least support of to both staff and to the families. C has the highest survey approval from both staff and the faculty members, or staff and family, sorry. D was second highest is highest amongst, it was right there even with the staff, a little bit lower, but again, the family significantly went with C. Okay, the highlights of the calendar, you got 187 staff days. You see the minutes there required by the state. We are well over that. That's required. Allows for teachers to have 2 weeks prep time before the school begins, which is always big in the beginning of the year, getting ready and getting the classrooms ready and then going over things we need to go over for the new school year. Full planning days will be every 3 weeks. Contract day, and the intent is to plan for effective lessons for the next coming week. And And probably more than just that coming week. I know they can do 2 or 3 weeks, just kind of seeing where they are. But it gives them a great deal of time to plan for upcoming. And looking at the calendar on the C and the D, those are 13 days. And in the past, I can remember being a teacher and even as a kid, it seemed like we had an in-service day about every month back in the old days. Before it was front-loaded, they spread them out. So during the school year, we had time to plan and work with each other amongst the departments. Also has the fall and spring break also in there. So child care, the family's concerned, question is if we use C or D, which one would you be able to provide daycare, would you need it? And yes, 352 respondents said yes, they would be able to take care of the daycare. But we 104 said they would need a little help from families. And as far as assistance with breakfast and lunch, 76 people said yes, and there's a high number right there, 381 that said they would be okay as far as breakfast and lunch. Solutions for the child care. I had a very, very good meeting with the Boys and Girls Club. They already have in their calendar built in, so when we are out on holidays, that they are open, the single day holidays that we have. So they're prepared, they have been doing that already for us. And so I know in the past, it's been ran a little different right now. They have a lot of educational programs and counseling programs that they're implementing, the curriculum that they're implementing. They do tutoring, and they have stations right now after school. When our kids go there after school, they have stations similar to what they have in elementary where they'll go. They have snacks, they do feed them, but then they go around and they have different stations where they're still keeping up with it as far as tutoring. They have a curriculum that they use, and that's brought up another conversation where hopefully we can get our curriculum crew and them together so we can basically be on the same page where the third graders are in the district. They're all at the same place, and those third graders go to the club. They'll be able to can enhance and enrich the students that we have going there in the afternoons and maybe even on these Fridays if it's possible. They have provided breakfast and lunch. That's part of the grant being in the Boys and Girls Club that they have. So I was very excited about the conversation I had with Ms. Carroll last week about what they can provide for us, and they were very excited too about using those 13 days that they could help us. And it helps them too, and Greenville, Texas is a good place to be able to go to a place like that. Some of us used to go to the YMCA when we'd have days off, and now we really don't have that many places, but the club would be a good place for our students to be able to go to. And it costs us $20 during the year. That's not the summer. The summer price is a little different than that. But this is just the after-school program that they have now, and pretty sure that'll be the same price that they'll have during this time as well. Again, they have to go back to their board. She'll have to present this to the board as well. Once the decision, if we make the decision on one of those calendars with the price. Yes, ma'am.
Is the district going to pay that $20 per year, the cost?
The family would be responsible for that. However, I did speak with them today, or text with them today. There is sponsorships that individuals can. We wouldn't do it as a district. The district wouldn't be able to do that. But individual administrators, West, could make donations and sponsor kids in the program if we needed to.
And you've had several people say they would.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How many students can they take?
They can run, right now they have 150. They said they'll be able to just hire. They feel the need that they could use more help on the Friday, and they would just hire more people. I made a suggestion to them. I think some of y'all's questions were about PALs, maybe having volunteers. No, they could be a part of that. I suggested that. But also, one of the things I suggested, and not saying, please go ahead and hire our people. We have ACE that they won't be open on Fridays. So to me, that's a good, those people usually take, those ACE employees, they go to school, and then they come work for us in the afternoons. And so that's cutting out one of their days. So that would be a good opportunity for them to still do it. Most of them are going to be off on Friday. they could use them on their one of their 13 days, and they could have extra help if they need it. But she feels very confident they can staff what they needed to accommodate up to 200 or so kids.
About transportation wise though, how people that don't live on this side of town know where they're gonna get there?
Transportation wise, we didn't discuss transportation, and I'm not sure they provide, but I will get back to you and get that. I will get that answer tomorrow. I'll call them about how they handle their transportation in the summertime.
We did talk about our transportation being available also because they're being training that morning, but we could have that not a training day if there was a requirement there. And then you may want to ask the connection, because I know the connection is used at neighboring communities. That may be an option.
And the connection is next door.
Yeah, exactly, right next door.
Can we table this till we get all the answers we need? Because that's a big issue. Kids on my side, in my district, they want to go over there. How they gonna get over there? That's my question.
Well, Greg can answer tonight if transportation can do it.
We'll have the employees here.
So all the school buses will be running.
The required school buses, because the percentage of kids that need it are lower than the full bus.
But that number might change though.
Well, Greg's telling you that bus drivers will be here, so, yes. When are you going to talk about employee openings? I know you were going to add that.
I was going to get to that.
It's coming, okay, never mind, keep going. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry.
The teacher's voices, you have those in front of you. I'm not going to read all of them. You had a couple of the staff members speak to this and some of what their teachers' thoughts. Yes, ma'am.
Carver, possibility, can we say that right now? For the last slide. And it'll be the board's decision, but do talk
Yes,
about it. Mr. Livingston's
Well,
question.
your question about the staff members also brought up a question for me, because I know on Fridays, it's also open to the senior citizens. And so I would wonder what that would look like if we have an influx of kids on their Fridays. And so right now they know how to reserve and work around each other. But if we add more kids, I say, hey, we do have Carver, across the parking lot, that hopefully that would be something we could use, the way it's kind of broke down where the cafeteria is, the gym and the music, all that side would be on the side where there wouldn't be other planning with the teachers, they wouldn't be inside the hallways and everything, there would be supervision. So it's something that if the club couldn't handle that many students, maybe we could offer up Carver as a support. They said that's fine, they would be able to cover as far as insurance and all that sort of thing.
Can you explain on the calendar C? Most months, they said planning every 3 weeks, but the months of January, February, and March seem to be every other Friday. Do you know why those months have more? They're not every 3 weeks?
That was during, for lack of a better word, crunch time on planning. And so that way, that's right before the holiday. So, let me get that.
January, February, March.
Okay, so that's right before STAR. So we wanted to make sure that teachers had the opportunity to plan and target with their data in mind. So at that point, I know Lamar does a really good job at, if Ms. Haynes needs summarizing and Trina needs something, and so they're able to divide their kids up and plan accordingly to make sure we're targeting kids. So that was to prepare for that boot camp, for lack of a better word, towards STAR data to make sure kids are where they need to be before STAR and then the end of the year. That was the intentionality of that. Does that make sense?
Also, another question, somebody brought up about ACE, not working on Fridays, but like other, cafeteria workers or stuff that wouldn't be on campus, correct? How were their pay?
It will not be affected. Greg and I have talked about all the bus drivers, the maintenance and operations, and cafeteria. They would love the opportunity to train, and the cafeteria would love the opportunity to deep clean. They really are excited about these days as well, but they would still be paid. They would lose no days, no time off, no pay. Good question.
I got one more question. What about the kids with disabilities? Or the Boys and Girls Club accommodate them also?
Absolutely.
They have to.
Absolutely.
They have to. And that's another thing between the school and the family, you know, talk about some of those things, but also just some of the learning things where they may be behind, where we can partner with them and be able to share that information, parents can share that with the club as far as tutoring and getting kids caught up. All right, so, heard the voices. The teacher retention, you know, it saves money and resources. If you have to constantly train new people, that cuts into your resources. Student achievement can increase with strong teacher retention, keeping the same people in the program, keeping the same people in part of the staff, helps with the students. Is also retention impacts the climate and culture in a positive way. As far as what earlier was said, not like 23 openings, we have 9, and actually today we had 2 recommendations to fill some of those. And some of those positions that are open, however, the classes are being covered within the elementary, or the principals have made some adjustments with that. So it's not like a class is not with a teacher. And we do have a couple like that at the older grades where it's maybe a sub, but most of those positions are filled with somebody full-time that's teaching the kids.
So we keep the postings. When you look at Texas Job Network, you want to speak to that?
Well, that's why I said.
Please do.
We keep, there's a lot of those keeping, it goes back to my some of this is me because I'm superstitious. Back when I was a principal, and I would make a recommendation, everybody's happy, person's coming, send it to HR, and then I would put their name on the board, getting ready to make a schedule, and then I get a call, oh, they turned it down, they're going to another place. So I felt like I was jinxing us, so I waited until that person was on campus before I put their name up there. Same thing with this. Once we were getting people, take their name, take the job down, and then same thing, they find there was a reason we couldn't hire them, or they go to another place. So we keep it there till we were for sure that person's in place. I let it sit there. I get a notice from Teacher Job Network, hey, it's going to expire this week. I check, we got that filled, boom, I feel confident. And then other places we have pool positions open as well. So some of this that teachers can constantly apply, so we might not have an opening at a second grade position. However, somebody may apply, and then we look up second grade teacher, for some reason leaves us, we have to pull the people to the chief.
And also, we have to keep it posted 10 days before we make the offer. So this way, before we fill it. So this way, we don't have to wait that 10 days to fill a position.
And if it's a teaching position, however, we can bypass that. If those dates, the TASB or SBAC gives us the opportunity to, if it's a teaching position and you need to hire one real quick, you can do that necessary. You don't have to wait that 10 days. They changed that recently. All right, so the administration will accept the board's recommendation to determine the 23-24 academic school calendar.
I'd like to say something. I appreciate you working with the Boys and Girls Club. I felt certain that our community would come together and that would actually be a very robust option for our students and our kids to be able to have tutoring, additional enrichment, and that sort of thing. So I appreciate that discussion that you all had.
I got another question though. How are we going to accommodate the students who receive service at the school when their makeup day is on a Friday?
Define makeup days?
Let's say you receive services on Monday, you have to get so many hours of your service. A student missed one of those days. Their makeup day is on Friday right now for their services. How are you going to supplement that day, that Friday?
Every student will be reviewed for their minutes that are required. And just like the teachers do now, if a student's absent on Friday, they accommodate them accordingly. So every student will be scheduled based on their IEP minutes, and it will be adjusted for that day, not having a student there.
Okay. I want to thank y'all for the hard work y'all did, but though, I still say this is a bad idea right now. We need to wait on this right here. There are other things we need to focus on before we go to a 4-day.
It's not
I've been sort of on the fence about the 4-day versus 5 because I hated to take that time away from students. But on the other hand, I think we're almost in a place where this is a necessity in order to keep our certified teachers so that we aren't having to hire alternative certified teachers, every year. But I have a couple of concerns too, or questions. If a teacher so chooses to use that day on a Friday to have a clinic or take a field trip, or, especially with the high school kids, to art museums or wherever, or, CTE could obviously use that day too. Is that allowed as long as they're looking at TEKS?
Well, so what we continue to hear is that teachers need a planning day. So would we tell them as a district, you need to do a field trip or whatever?
Oh, no,
We
I wouldn't, not every time, but, maybe once or twice, a year or something like that.
If a teacher came and asked for it, absolutely, absolutely. But the teacher would have to ask for it. We wouldn't be telling them.
Well, that's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
It would be their initiative to pursue things, but there's always things that kids could go see and do. And my other question is, my oldest first cousin is a former superintendent, so I was able to have a reason to call Wayne and chat. And I asked him how it worked in his districts. He had multiple districts that had 4-day schools. And one of the things that he said that they tried it on Friday, but they really found out that Monday was the better of the day to have off. So I don't know whether that would be something that we could ask, which day would you prefer, or?
That is calendar D.
Yeah, but.
Well, and to that point, if we can go backwards, I'm sorry, the teachers were what, four votes between C and D. D, you will notice, has mostly Mondays, but because if a holiday was about to come, the teacher said, if I could have that Friday before holiday, then I could go home with my lessons and then it would be done. So I think there's 2 or 3 that are Fridays, 1, 2.
October.
Oh, actually, there's 5, 6. So there's 6 Fridays and the rest are 6 Fridays that would be 7 Mondays. So, so we got a lot of votes by teachers, you're right, absolutely.
The high school voted for this option more than the other.
The parents were better with Fridays.
Yeah, Friday's more, you can plan, you're more
Yes.
consistent with that.
So my opinion, I believe strongly that this is not just something that we can do. I think this is something we should do for our teachers. We should provide tools for our teachers to be able to plan so they can grow our children and have academic enrichment for them and growth, creating the lesson plans. We're a data-driven district, we're a data-driven board, and all across the country is information that this helps those teachers, which in turn helps the students.
Okay, but Bonnie, you said we're a data-driven district, right? Why don't we use the data that the exit surveys gave us then? No one on the exit survey said 4-day. Nowhere.
This is a planning day. This
But
is
though-
not a 4-day.
But though, it's still, they said, nowhere said on those survey, on the exit survey we got, nothing about planning. They said discipline, lack of teacher support, and better pay. Those were the 3 things the exit survey said. Nothing about no plan.
So this is what we can do to support our
They
teachers
said
and
that-
allow them to prepare.
That was an issue. Multiple teachers said that they needed more planning.
One other thing I'm wondering, on those Fridays, I know we have retired teachers coming in and working with our newer teachers. Will they also be working those Fridays?
If they so choose, I'm not sure what their schedule is right now, but I mean, we would invite them, definitely. Can we look to see what their schedules are now?
Yeah.
Mr. Rackley, would you say something? No? Okay, no, that's all you.
Well, I'm harping on this a little bit because of my background, being married to a former teacher who used to spend a lot of Friday afternoons when we should be going out to eat supper in her classroom preparing for the next week. And to give the teachers a planning day like this, I think is an outstanding idea. We deserve, we need to do something that they deserve, and they deserve time to plan. And try to do it in a conference period, forget it. It doesn't work. If you're going to plan, you've got to get 3 or 4 teachers together. And then if you do it in your conference period, well, this one's got to meet with a parent. This one's got this, some of that. It just doesn't work to do it at conference time. So this is the best solution we've got right now. I think we need to give it a try.
When are we talking about, we're talking about, if there is a change, this calendar for 23, 24, it does not, there's no testing period about which theory would work best.
No, I mean, the only way we would be able to test it is to do it, and so we would just do the one that, you know, fit our.
So we're just planning it for 23, 24. I don't really have a problem with the 4-day work week. And I'm not sure that that is the best solution in my head. You know, that 5-day work week that actually is a 5-day would allow you planning time if in fact you can use it that way. If somebody's taught you how to use your time that way. And I'm not one of those people who does that really well, because when I was a teacher, I had papers, essays, stacked up in my living room on things I had to grade. And I always felt, some teachers would tell me, well, we don't even grade those anymore because we get the same thing over and over. Well, that's really not good in my mind. But to have that time and that plan possibly would work well, but I'm not sure. I'm just not sure about it.
As you know, I was very vocal at the last meeting, and I'm on the fence about it, and it's not, to me, it's not fair to call it a 4-day work week, because it's not.
Right.
No.
It's not every week that they're going 4 days. Some months it's just 1 day. Some months, like Ms. Booth said, it's because you have 2 because of STAR testing and so forth coming up. I understand that the teachers need planning, and I'm all for that. And I think this option is kind of a, I won't say compromise, but it's in between the 4-day and then giving them days for planning. So, and I hear the teachers, I've got feedback from the teachers, and I'm leaning more toward option C. I'm not in favor of 4 days, but I'm okay with one or two a month.
Well, and really and truly, it's not a 4-day work week for any teacher. Those days that they're planning, they're on campus.
I'm not saying for the teachers, I was saying for the students, for neighborhood students.
Yeah, even some of those days, the kids are still going to be there because football games will go on, band practice will go on, things like that. So it still gives those teachers time to plan.
I'm hoping that not all of the Fridays, obviously, that be a big restraint on the teachers, and that's what we want to prevent. But for kids, middle school age kids, that there would be an occasional activity, whether helped by the PALs or maybe some teachers, if there was an activity that they could do on a Friday, just to keep them at school and not on the streets. I think that would be a valuable thing to do.
I think it could be maybe a plan with the Boys and Girls
The
Club.
Boys and Girls Club can work with
Like a
any age
special-
students.
Well, but they can't take they can't take all of middle school in Carver. I mean, you know, there is a limit to how much they can do.
I know what you're saying.
How will Fridays off during like football or sports, how is that?
Well, in the school districts that I've talked to, they usually move like pep rallies and stuff to Thursday. And then it's just, you know, the kids may have, they just, you know, do the games as usual. We don't, you know, the kids would meet up and they would go on the bus, or they might come in a little bit earlier. Might have like food from a parent, or, you know, I don't know what, and then they would get on the bus, or they'd have their game. It would be the same as Wednesday.
They're also not losing half of the school day on those Fridays. That would have been instructional time for away games and that sort of thing.
So the athletic schedule would remain the same?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Even that's whether it's in town or out of town?
Yes.
You know, okay. All right.
I asked my cousin how that worked in his districts, and he said so many of the schools had gone to 4 days, they actually had their games on Thursday nights. And they had Friday completely off. But I'm not suggesting there's any way we could possibly do that, but it's like, well, they adapted. So, and I think that's what we have to do too, is adapt.
Yeah, good point. I think if we could prove the effectiveness and overcome the obstacles, and that's just what needs to be our commitment, that as we see obstacles, we're going to have to respond, then that's a good point. Because UIL has to get involved if we change game nights. But I will tell you, I talked to band and Scott Surface, and they're really excited about being able to really have some quality practice. It still gets their lesson plan in because they want kids there. So I do think there'll be other, I bet FFA would say the same thing, because, it's just all a part of it. But until we approve something, we're afraid to get them too excited about it. So that's kind of where we are, so.
Are you ready for a motion?
I am.
I make a motion to approve option C, 2023-2024 school calendar.
Second.
The motion by Bonnie and a second by Mike. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes 6-0, or 6-1, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, this, of course, this is a one-year deal. We'll see how it works.
How we're going to be tracking, we're going to be tracking the student outcome?
Absolutely, you'll still get the quarterly outcomes that you're going to get this year. And again, I think communications, we could set up, Helen, I think we can set up some kind of question and answer place to make sure that we have, as the concern comes in, be it a teacher or be it parents, that we can address those and be monitoring those with solutions. We just need to be real proactive to come up with solutions. If it's one person, or if it's 20, or if it's 200, we just need to be proactive, but we just need to be open to hear. Thank
And
you.
one of the other things that we had talked about was like food, and with the Boys and Girls Club, it definitely answered that question. But also, when we were at Christmas time, we were together with Fish, and Fish has several different families that they adopt from our school district as well, and they send food over the weekend. So we would coordinate with them, because that backpack would have to go home on Friday. Thursday. So that was another initiative in this time that we've been looking at it.
Now we can nail things down and get it to you. So, get it in writing, because we'll have to do a memorandum of understanding just to make sure. And we'll come to you and ask you if you're okay with Boys and Girls using Carver. So all that'll come to you now that we know what direction to go.
Okay, at this time, let's move to the consent agenda. Would anyone like anything taken off the consent agenda? If not, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Ann and a second by Mike. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 7-0. At this time, we're going to move to closed session? Okay. All right. Closed meeting will be held for the purposes authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Section 551.071, concerning any and all purposes permitted by the Act, including but not limited to the following sections and purposes. Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with the board's attorney on all subjects or matter authorized by law. Consider legal advice regarding personnel issues. Consider legal advice regarding any agenda action item. Texas Government Code Section 551.074, for the purpose of considering the appointment, employment, resignation, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, termination, or dismissal of a public officer or employee. Closed session pursuant to Section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, or to include consideration of employee resignation for good cause. And at 7:24, we're going to go into closed session. We're going to go to the back. Okay. And you have folders.